Hi, this is Brian Aldrich from 4th Street Software. Today I'm going to show you a little bit about the lineup screen in the new 4th Street hockey computer game. And as you can see, I've already opened the 2006-2007 season file, and I've selected Pittsburgh to work with today just for this purposes of this demonstration. To get to the lineup screen, you can either click on the lineups toolbar button, or from the options menu, choose lineups. Either way, it'll get you here. And I've purposely emptied out Pittsburgh's lineup here today so that we can play around with it a little bit. Down in this window is a small little web browser screen that shows you what the lines, pairs, and goalie combinations are for this team. Right now, obviously, they're all blank. Same thing up here. This is where you would set those lines and pairs. And then over here is our team list. So these are all the players that played for Pittsburgh in 2006-2007, or at least the ones assigned to the Pittsburgh team. Right now we're on the Skater Ratings tab, so all these are game engineered codes. Higher the rating, of course, the better the player typically is. Skater stats, so there's just a real quick synopsis of how well the player performed in real-life action. Goalie stats, same thing for goalies. And then the reports tab is used for reports, which we'll get to a little bit later on. All right, now there's a couple of ways that I can populate the lineups here. One way is the old-fashioned way, just start chiseling away at it. So here's Sid Crosby. We'll go ahead and put him at a center position, for example. I don't know why we'd put Larock at right wing on the first line, but why not? We'll go ahead and do that here temporarily. The point is you can go ahead and put these in all you want. Now, if I drop this down, right now it appears to be pretty much empty. That's because it's really designed to be used more with this Create Lineups button. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do that. We'll just push this, and it'll automatically construct a set of lines. My dressed total here in the game options, although we haven't seen that yet, is for 20 players total, 18 skaters, 2 goalies. And so what this has done, this Create Lineups button has done, is picked out 18 high quality skaters, hopefully, and gone ahead and populate the lines and pairs with them. It's also taken the top 2 goalies and put them into play here. So if we look around, some of this is color-coded. There's a key up here to tell you a little bit about it. Players that are highlighted blue are assigned to lines and pairs. So if we look now, we've got line names for all of these. Right now we were looking at line number 1. Here's line 2, and I can see that again down here in the little web browser window. Here's line 3, so on and so forth. Okay, all those players have been posted here as being part of the 18 skater limit that I've set. Some of these players don't have any designations. They're white, and that simply means they are not in any of these 18 skaters. The green designation are for the top 2 goaltenders. So we have Fleury here as 1, and Thibault as a 2nd. Excuse me. Right now there aren't any, but if there was a player highlighted red, they are not in any of the top 4 lines, and therefore really should be booted off from your roster here because they could cause a game crash. And then finally, yellow is they're part of these top 4 lines, so that part of the top 12 skaters, for example, or in the case of defensive players, top 6, but they are not on this current set of line types. For example, power play. Okay, well, Larock is kind of an enforcer type of player, so he is not anywhere among the power play units that we see here that we've set up. These are all the forwards that are there. As you can see, Larock is a right winger or labeled anyway as a right winger. That doesn't mean you can't put him at left wing or even center if you want to. But it's a way to highlight these guys so that it's a little easier to find out where they're hiding if you need to use them for some reason. All right, so that is pretty much all there is to it. Now, this computer-generated lineup does a pretty good job for the most part, but occasionally it will miss a player or two. So it's always a good idea after you get done doing this to go down the skater stats and check out to see if we have somebody who's kind of misplaced. For example, I've got John LeClair here. He only played in 21 games total during the 2006-07 season, whereas Eric Christensen played in 61. So it's probably logical that LeClair should be replaced here with Eric Christensen. If you look at it, they played almost identically as far as their time on ice goes per game. So what I'm going to do is take LeClair, and I'm going to swap him out and replace him with Christensen. So I'll just click on the swap player button, and a little message comes up. Now choose the player you'd like to swap in, and then click that same swap button again. So here's Christensen. And if you look over here, just real quick, we've got LeClair on the third line. Once I hit this swap player button, Christensen has automatically been positioned into the same spot that LeClair had previously occupied. So that's one way to easily get that going. Another way, maybe I look through here and I find another guy that I don't particularly want playing all the time. Here's Nezardine. Let's just take him out. Okay, so right now he is on the third pair with Orpik. I'll just go ahead and remove him. And it's not only removed him from the third pair, but if you look a little further, it takes him off the third power play unit. Takes him off a 4-on-4 unit. He's now off the penalty kill for the second unit, so on and so forth. And then we can go ahead and replace him manually in with whatever we wanted. Of course, we could have done that with a swap, and it would have done it automatically. A couple other little things here before we leave. If we want to check a guy's ratings out or see more detail about him, we can click on him, then hit the display button. So here's Malkin. Okay, and we've seen that little screen before. And you can actually go into the player editor and check him out in even more detail if you'd like to. You can also go ahead and print these things out. But before you do that, you should probably generate a report. So let's make a line. Now, we've already got the lines down here. This is actually a web page, but I can do that from the reports generator too. So we'll do that, and here's a report. And this little button here has been engineered to go ahead and print that report if you want to. So it's one way to go about it. And it can do a roster for us. It can do ratings for us. Anything we want in there. We've got one other little button up at the top right corner. You'll notice here I only have 17 skaters and 2 goalies now. So if I hit the check button here, it's going to tell me that first of all I've got several errors that are found. The error list is over here. So lines 1 through 4 are okay, the power play lines are okay, but slot 4 on the PK unit 2 is empty. So if we go in here to PK unit 2, we can see that we have an empty slot. The X slot here should be taken care of. There should be a defenseman there. So that's when you could go ahead and take this one more step and put in a defenseman into that position. Now you might wonder why I went ahead with this. There's defensive pairings down here that did the same thing. These are the regular pairs, so on 5-on-5 play. These are power play pairs, but I went ahead and put PK pairs into the units with the forwards to make it a little bit more manageable.